let's talk.
Sure. Rajiv ji, why don't you first tell us how does the whole situation for the student in US at the moment looks like, especially if you're an Indian student?
इंडियन स्टूडेंट्स बदमाशी करते हैं, पकौड़े खाते हैं, चाय पीते हैं, मजे करते हैं, ऐसी कोई बात नहीं, हम भी
तो
स्टूडेंट
आप
थे
भी
एक जमाने में.
परेशान क्यों हो रहे हैं अब?
But I can understand it's a scary time for a couple of reasons. The government has been dilatory. हर चीज में देर लगाते हैं. They have taken time about providing information to students. Although in one respect, आपका कुछ चैट में किसी का मैसेज है. In one respect, we have been fortunate that as compared to the rest of the visa processes, students still have been informed well.
Okay.
My favorite website for information is definitely the NAFSA site. That is, I don't know what that means. I think it's the National Association of Foreign Students Advisors, NAFSA.
Mm-hmm.
NAFSA website is something I would highly recommend. They keep things updated and everything is in one place regarding the students. And of course, they don't answer all the questions.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any follow-up questions, आपकी कुछ particular night before last, I stayed up till almost 1 o'clock helping a student. रो भी रही थी, she was crying, and I had to explain to her because she was one day late in submitting her STEM OPT extension.
Okay.
So I know it's very disappointing because she got really bad advice from her designated school official. DSOs are supposed to know the law, they're supposed to. So students have some unique issues, and the most important issues actually the government has already dealt with.
Okay.
Yesterday, they said you can take classes online, etc. All that is axiomatic, it's already there, people are already doing it, schools are doing it. So you're okay there. Classes chal rahi logon ki. There was a lawsuit filed yesterday by the American Immigration Lawyers Association. That basically requests the court. I see one weakness in the lawsuit, but I think it's a good lawsuit. The weakness is it's a lawsuit filed on behalf of immigration lawyers instead of the students and the H-1B holders and other people who are directly affected. So there's some room for issues there, but I guess once you're in court, you can always amend complaints. You can amend the lawsuit to add more people. So I'm hoping that AILA will reach out to more of us, their members, to introduce some plaintiffs, some additional people in the lawsuit. A lot of people are being affected.
But what
So
is this lawsuit about?
that lawsuit basically for the students, what is important is it says if you have a work authorization, it will stay in effect. It will stay in effect until 90 days after the emergency is lifted.
Okay.
Okay. I think that's a very reasonable demand.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something the government should look at.
Mm-hmm.
Second, if you have any deadlines, all deadlines are frozen.
Okay.
Until 90 days after the president, the so-called president, lifts the ban or the emergency, whatever you want to call it. So that lawsuit has good angles. I'm monitoring it very closely. I want to see what happens with that. And we would be, of course, willing to help in whatever way we can. But for students, I think overall things are not too bad. I just have one student who wrote to me from India. He's stuck in India, went for getting married. Now he can't come back. And so, there's not much you can. In any case, I don't think you want to travel at this point of time.
You're right.
Because if you travel, you could come back with more than you had bargained for.
Absolutely.
So I would suggest that you stay put from a personal level. But from a visa angle, if you have any deadlines, if you have to attend classes, USCIS has said that you can even attend classes overseas.
Okay.
So you can attend online classes from overseas. There are ways that you can do that, and the school will set it up. So I don't think you would lose time of study, I hope. But I want to hear from people who are here if they have any problems above and beyond what I
Yes.
have seen so far.
Yes. In fact, Abhinav just wrote us a question. So, Abhinav, do you want to unmute yourself and just ask it yourself to Rajiv? Do you want to post this question?
आप लोग जी भी ड्रॉप कर सकते हैं. राजीव इज गुड इनफ. वही मेरा नाम है.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Abhinav, we can hear you जी.
Yeah, I'll just read out my question. It's slightly longer. Sorry for that.
कोई बात नहीं, कोई बात नहीं.
So first of all, I appreciate your and Varsha's initiative on helping international students in this situation.
Of course.
So my question is, like, I'm an international student waiting for my joining date, which was initially on 6th April. But like due to this COVID-19 situation, like affecting everyone, my joining date is getting delayed. And my unemployment period and like the grace period ends in about a month. So like what options do I have now? Like my current contingency plan is to volunteer for a research work under my professor who's ready to hire me. But like this hiring process at my university, it usually gets done in a week, but due to this new hiring rules which are implemented like a week ago, it might take another 3 to 4 weeks. So what can I do in such an extraordinary situation? So like
So, Abhinav, let me understand this.
Yeah.
I'm hearing you say that you are in the first year of OPT. Am I correct?
Yes, you're right.
Okay. There are two aspects to it. एक तो to support yourself, to make enough money to support yourself. And the other aspect is to not fall out of status, correct?
Right.
Supporting yourself, we can't do much, not
Right.
at this time.
Right.
But as far as falling out of status is concerned, I would not worry about it even a little bit. Why? Because if ELA doesn't help you guys, we have enough resources on our own that we can take this kind of garbage to court. And I'm just 2 miles from Washington, D.C. courts.
I see.
So Lord has been kind to us. We can just walk into the court and make our presence known on your behalf. So don't worry so much about that part, because that's going to get resolved. You can take it to the bank.
I see.
That's going to get resolved. I wouldn't worry about it. But your thinking is absolutely delightfully perfect, because remember, in first year of OPT, you only need to be employed for 20 hours each week.
Right. You're right.
And that also can be absolutely free.
Okay.
Now, I don't have to be a Wharton MBA to know that free work is good for me.
Right.
Okay. So if I'm the employer, as long as I'm not breaking any Fair Labor Standards Act rules,
Right.
I can always use free labor. And I gave an example that last year we had a young lady who approached us who had finished her degree,
Okay.
couldn't find a job in law because she wanted a certain specific kind of international relations type of job.
Okay.
So I did give her a project which was about 20 hours each week.
I see.
She finished the project, maintained her status, and she got a delightfully good job. So she's doing well. The point is, you could reach out to any professor and say, give me any research job or anything that has to do with my field. If you can certify that I did that 20 hours each week, that gives you an added layer of protection, which I doubt you will ever need.
Yeah, but like I'm already on that path. But the thing is, like this process, this hiring process, the paperwork from HR and everyone, it usually gets done in like 3 to 4 days. But like given the current situation, they have added some more clearances thing to the hiring new employees. So even like considering the free work that can be done, it's gonna take like 3 to 4 weeks. So that's gonna consume a lot of time. And like, what do I do in such a situation?
Do you guys follow the local politics in USA?
Local, yeah, sort of.
I mean, the national politics.
Yeah.
You know what Comey did every time he talked with president? He made notes.
Not exactly.
Okay. See, I'm a lawyer. I look for those kind of things. In law, there is something called contemporaneous notes.
Okay.
If something happens and right after it happens, you make a note of it, that is considered to be evidence under federal rules of evidence.
Okay.
So to document how much you have tried to stay in status,
Okay.
note down the date and the time, various events that show your efforts happened, and what the content of that effort was.
Right.
I don't think you ever need it, but if we ever end up going to court, I could use that.
I see. Got it. Even that sounds better.
So don't worry. If there is a delay, so be it.
Yeah, it's like I was going to join on 6th April. Like, everyone was sure about it, but due to the factory getting shut down, it has to be delayed. No, I don't have any option but to wait for them to
Now
reach.
you'll be okay. You'll
Yeah.
be okay.
Okay.
Take it.
I don't have any more question as of now. Thank you for your
Good
time.
luck. You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Good luck.
Abhinav. Thank you, Rajiv ji. The next question is from Dhairya. Dhairya, you said you have a question. Do you want to go?
Yes. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Haji, we can.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I am good, Terry. How are you?
I'm good, sir. Thank you for your time. So my question is that I have MBA in finance. I finished with that. I couldn't find a job, and then later on I found, and I was able to pay taxes for 2 years.
Okay.
I tried for H1B twice, didn't get picked up, and this year was the only chance I had. And I got laid off. I started working for about 4 months. I got laid off yesterday, and my H1B got picked up at the same time.
Okay.
So my question is that if that is not really happening, if I don't get a job within 60 days, which seems like possible scenario, what should I do? Because I'll be in a huge financial crisis because I've paid all my tuition fees. I can't get the help from India. I am the only source. I have to, fund myself. And on top of that, my student visa is also expiring by end of this year.
There are 2 or 3 aspects of what you asked me. One, where I cannot do much for you, I can make a couple of suggestions where, as far as being out of pocket and requiring some support is concerned, maybe reaching out to the Indian government is not a bad thing to do, as well as to the private business houses like Tata's, etc. Reach out to them, and if you don't have sources, let me know. I would want you to try it on your own. I think it'll be good for the students to even something so simple as a tweet or a personal message would be a step in the right direction, because I don't think we as human beings tend to focus on the immediate emergency and forget about those that are not perceived as more urgent. So it's easy to forget that people need certain basic stuff to survive. And those people include our students who are studying here. So that part, I would say, reach out to business houses, as well as in India, as well as in USA, as well as to your government. It used to be my government as well in India, and let them know what you are suffering and how it would help if the government pitched in for their citizens. Okay. And I personally feel that it's your right to expect some aid from your government. You've been paying taxes. Your parents have been paying taxes. Generations you've been paying taxes. So why should you not expect your government to stand with you? Okay. So that's one part. The second part is, if you get delayed in your work authorizations, etc., I think the government is going to have to make some accommodations. I don't think they have a choice. Now, if you are worried about your status, in Thursdays, which is Friday, Saturday, Thursday, so the day before yesterday or the day before yesterday, we have a community conference call every other Thursday. I gave a very detailed discussion, and that is on our website. You can go to immigration.com. That's on our website. It's also in our forums. So if you go to our forums, forums.immigration.com, you will see Rajiv's corner on the top, and you'll see the community conference call, questions, answers, and videos. Look at the Thursday's video. It talks about applying for a B2 visa, B2 status, to maintain your status. You can always do that. I think ultimately they will have to resolve it in your favor without the B2. But why should I not apply for a B2 and I can do it online? So why shouldn't you do it? Just to maintain status while things get sorted out.
But I can't file for the unemployment because I don't come in that category as of now, because I'm a non-resident alien. So I don't get the benefit, first of all, in the US, where I have already paid about 50,000 plus on tuition fees. So that's definitely one of the biggest disadvantage. you wait for your H1B, and when it gets picked up, you being laid off because of this situation. Now you're not going to get any help from India. Now you have to help yourself. And I feel like I'm so angry that I feel like filing a case against China, like a class action file.
You're a little late. You are a little late. One has been already filed from Texas. There is a class action against China for, I don't know how many $1 trillion. Is that what it is? Well, you know more than I do. Maybe I can ask you what happened there. So yeah, it's always a pleasure to talk to you guys because you're so much on the ball. So I think you're kind of late for that. But what the financial situation is, some of my colleagues who have looked at taking aid have said that the definition of resident is not what your visa status is, but how many days you've lived in the United States. Okay. So there is a test by the IRS where I think if you've lived in USA, and you don't want to take my tax advice. I almost failed my tax exam. I am not ashamed to admit figures and I don't work together very well. Okay. So it may be, and I do not know enough about this particular aspect, and I have not seen anything written by scholars about whether or not H1B or F1 holders could avail themselves of extended unemployment benefits or unemployment benefits that are coming to everyone. Are you a part of that group of consumers that should be helped? I don't know yet. I think within a week or so, we should have more information on that. But everybody who has held a job, in my view, is entitled to unemployment insurance benefits. So if you are already employed, which may not be your case, but for other students, if you're already employed and you get laid off, you're entitled to ask for unemployment insurance, apply for it at the state level, just like anybody else. That does not hurt you. That does not hurt you. You can apply for it. Your case is a little different because you didn't start working yet.
No, I started working. I was working on a project from past 4 months. And, when you're working as a contractor, your bill rate is always higher. And that's the reason, because they told me that performance is not the issue. They said that, your billing rate is higher, because my manager was kind, I'll definitely try to look another, a project for you. But as of now, we will have to let you go because your bill rate is higher and they can't afford it anymore. And they laid off other people as well.
You were working on a 1099 directly yourself.
No, I was working on W-2 with the end client. So it's...
So then you're entitled to unemployment insurance, right? Check into the local laws, state laws, what does it take, whether you have to be employed for a certain number of months. You might be entitled. Look at it. Because what you're describing to me is just a normal unemployment insurance. Why shouldn't you be able to get that?
Because, when I look at the IRS website, it says that I have to pass that particular test because I filed my own this year. And
no, wait. We're talking about two different things.
Yes.
Unemployment insurance has existed in the United States for decades.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Extended unemployment benefits are a part of the CARES Act. Don't confuse the two. These are two different things.
Okay.
So if you call your state tax agency, I guess they are the ones, I don't know who administers unemployment insurance. I've never applied for it. I don't really know how that works. But I know this, that whatever the unemployment insurance is, you're entitled to it. You're not, I have my doubts about the extended benefits, and I have to look at the law, like I said. And I'm not sure I understand the darn law, because it has taxes. And when the moment it says taxes, my eyes just glaze over. So I'm looking for somebody better than I am at taxes to tell me. Somebody did say that even people who are on non-immigrant visas are entitled to it because they will meet the residence test of the IRS. Don't quote me on that. I don't know what the answer to that part is. But you are entitled to unemployment insurance. What is unemployment insurance? When an employee joins our firm, we pay a certain amount to the Virginia state or DC or wherever they are. We pay a certain amount to the state. And if the employee gets laid off for non-availability of work, which seems to be your reason, they immediately just go to the state and say, hey, I have an insurance on my salary, give me my money. So they have X number of weeks that they give you your salary or a part of your salary. So it's, in other words, this is an insurance benefit. Your employer has already paid for it.
So, I mean, I can file right now, or you need to have it like now, even before?
No, I think you can file for it right now. Look into it.
Okay. Because there's two things I really kind of like got confused when I was.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. That's easy to, it's easy to confuse the two. These are two different things.
Okay. And what if you fail to kind of, pay some of your the money to the college, which you're supposed?
What does that have to do with your unemployment?
Well, it has to do nothing with it, but
no, don't worry about it. Go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. Let's move on to Yasho now. Yasho, you said you have a question you wanted to ask.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you. Yes. How are you, sir?
Doing good. Good morning, Rajiv sir, and good morning, Varsha. I am a current PhD student at Georgia Tech in Atlanta. I am finishing up, and before the COVID-19 crisis happened, my plan was to graduate in summer 2020, which is around the last week of July and the first week of August. Okay, so I have completed all requirements of my PhD except the final submission of thesis. So now because of the uncertainty in job situation, I'm trying to think of ways in which I can maintain my status. And part of your answer to Abhinav's question in the first question answers my question, that I can stay on as a possibly unpaid research project under my professor. So that is really helpful to me. I also want to explore the option of possibly legally extending my student status. So instead of graduating in summer, say graduate at the end of December. Now,
Yeah, you talked to your DSO. What did they say?
They said that if you have met the requirements of your degree, we cannot allow you to just extend it just because you want to stay longer. So that's one point that they raised.
Let me think about this for a moment. So you've got your OPT anyway. You're going to get your 1 year OPT, right?
Yes.
And then you're entitled to a 2-year STEM OPT extension. Georgia Tech, you're in a tech degree, right?
Yes, sir.
So what is the problem?
So
next 1 year, all you need is a project that will give you 20 hours each week, paid or unpaid.
Okay.
1 year, you look for a job, and the virus be damned. Ultimately, you find a job and you live happily ever after.
So I don't even need to necessarily explore the option of extending my student status. Just stay as
Not at all. Just volunteer your time in your field. What is your field, by the way?
Looking for tech and finance jobs, mostly computation jobs.
So things like financial technology, fintech, and all, right?
Yes. Banks, financial technology.
I can tell you this, that fintech is one of the hottest areas. We have clients in fintech who are product makers. They write their software, they produce their software. And those guys, some of them have been our clients since they were 10 employee companies. And today there are multiple hundreds of employees. They're doing very, very well. Fintech is amazingly hungry for talent. So because there's so much regulation, the regulations themselves are so difficult to understand. So yeah, go for it. I don't think you're going to have any problem eventually. You're gonna be a fat cat rich guy.
Thank you so much. And just one quick point, I'm not very familiar with contract working, as the person before me just asked. If you can just give a couple of places to understand more in detail.
Right. I'll explain it to you. So In the United States, you can work in one of the two capacities. You can either be an employee of somebody, which is called a W-2 employee, because W-2 is the form you get at the end of an employment year. Okay. Or you can directly be an independent contractor where you don't have any other employer, you are yourself the employer. And that's called working on a 1099, because that's the form you have to fill out at the end of the year. It's real easy to be on a 1099. You're allowed to be on a 1099 only in the first year of OPT. Second year, third year, you've got to get a job. Got to be on W-2. So take full advantage of your 1099. I had a student in New York, daughter of a friend of mine, who is a visual design, graphic design graduate. She didn't want to do a job, particular job, but she wanted to work on several different contracts. So she called me about what to do, and I explained to her that she's got to document the fact that she's been at least working 20 hours each week. Other than that, there's no problem. So she's had no issues. She's traveled to and back to India and back a couple of times using that documentation, no issues at all. So you can do a 1099 if you so wish. What I would want you to do is go to two websites that are very, very informative. One is sba.gov, smallbusinessadministration.gov. sba.gov tells you how you should set up your 1099. Okay, including paying quarterly taxes. It sounds more difficult than it is. It's really quite easy. So do a 1099 if you so wish. Go to sba.gov, and of course, go to irs.gov to see what kind of forms you have to file. sba.gov is actually the go-to site. They'll tell you exactly what to do.
Okay, thank you so much, Rajiv sir.
You're welcome, Ji. Don't call me Sarya. Go ahead, Varsha.
Sure. The next one is from Kush. Kush, do you want to ask your question now?
Yeah. Hi, Rajiv ji. Good morning.
Good morning, Kushab. How are you?
I'm great. So first of all, I would like to thank you. What you are doing for international community in the US is extraordinary, sir. So thank you.
I have nothing better to do, I promise you.
So my question is, so I fall under a category. First of all, I'm graduating from Trinity College in May 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not worried about my OPT or XYZ. And my question is, and I'm also an international squash player. I've won Asian Games gold medal and SAF Games and all that.
Very good.
So I wanted to ask you, if I apply for H-1B visa and I do not get picked,
Mm-hmm.
will that affect on my O-1 visa?
Not at all. Not even a little bit.
No?
Nope.
So I can apply for O-1 visa after I get rejected for H-1B?
That depends if you are still in status, but the answer to your question is, can an O1 be applied for? The answer is yes, even after the denial. Whether it has to be done outside USA or inside USA would depend upon whether you are in status or not. So to do it, absolutely no problem.
Okay, thank you. That's all. That helps.
You're welcome.
Perfect. Abhinav, you said you have something else to ask, so go ahead.
Yeah, sorry to bother you again, Rajiv.
Kai Sangitla Abhinav.
So I had a question. Like I was reading about NAFSA had written a letter to USCIS and DHS about taking it easy on the various rules, including the OPT unemployment as well. So is there a response from any official authority as of yet?
Well, because of their lack of responsiveness, the American Immigration Lawyers Association has filed a lawsuit.
Okay.
Each time they wrote, there's a series of letters AILA wrote to them, and each time they wrote, they trickled a little bit of a benefit that we asked for.
I see. Okay.
So that's why we ended up, I'm not involved in that lawsuit. I don't want to give that impression somehow I'm involved, but our association.
Right.
So they in fact, if I had filed the lawsuit, I would do it a little differently. But everybody has their opinion, and I, at least I'm so happy that they've done it.
Right.
Because it needs to be taken care of, and I think they will. I think they will at some point accommodate.
Right. Got it.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. Anybody here who wants to go next, guys? Because I haven't seen anybody writing to me on the chat box. Ashwarya, Sumit, if anybody of you have any question. Akash, Go ahead if you have a question. You can unmute yourself, Akash, and ask the question.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
हाँ जी आकाश साहब,
Hello, Rajiv ji. Hello, Varsha. Very good morning.
प्रणाम, कैसे हैं आप?
अच्छे sir. I'm very good. Thank you for asking. I hope you also doing
मौत
good.
जाए जी, अमेरिका लगी साड़ी.
So my question is like I'm a graduate student. I had completed my master's in December 2019,
जी.
and right now I'm serving my unemployment days. That is OPT. I'm on OPT,
जी.
and my OPT got started from February 1st. So right now already I'm like done with 64 days of my unemployment. Like in past month in March, I got a job
Mhm.
as a software engineer, and
Mhm.
they had given me a start date as March 30th.
Mhm.
But on last Friday, on 27th March, I got another email from my employer that your joining got extended due to a COVID-19, and they said you have to wait for a couple of weeks. So the thing is like I have to update uh, my employer information on my SVP portal. So I really don't know what should I put
Okay,
there.
hang on one second. Are you in the first year of OPT or STEM extension?
I'm in my first year of OPT. I just recently graduated in December
So
2019.
first year OPT things are much easier. Like I said, I've said it a couple of times already. You can just pick up a volunteer project. And I'll tell you something. Modi government has been putting out apps like there is no tomorrow. Reach out, reach out to some of their local people here in the consulate, etc., and see if you can develop something for a U.S. operation here while you are waiting for this thing. 20 hours of unpaid work is not difficult to find.
Yeah, because I already asked my DSO and she said like as a post OPT student, you have to work more than 20 hours.
What do you mean post OPT? That's why I asked you.
Like
See,
I'm on post OPT means like there are two types of OPT. The first one is
right.
pre-OPT. Pre-OPT is
Yeah,
you get
post completion OPT has again two flavors.
yeah.
One is the 1 year and then the STEM extension. These are two flavors.
So I'm in the first one.
So you are only required to work 20 hours. If your DSO has said otherwise, maybe she has misunderstood where you are. Maybe she thinks you are on STEM extension. Remind her, tell her that I talked with a lawyer who's 10 times smarter than you. No, don't say that. Don't say that.
Yeah,
Don't tell her.
because the question which I have is yeah, like I'm already done with my I-9 form and everything is done from my employer side.
Yeah, but let them know. Well, this is not in your hands. If you could control the virus, you would be God literally. You cannot. So don't worry about that. Just reach out to her. Look for something else. Reach out to your professor. See if you can pick a project for 20 hours. Professors are always looking for free labor.
Okay, because I already done that also in last week because I asked my
Mm-hmm.
like my professors and they said you have to ask the same question to DSO. They might help you.
Ask the same question of the DSO. You're looking for a research project. You're not looking for legal advice from your professors.
No, I just asked them just like to provide me a letter for research so I can start doing something like
Right.
under you. But
Right.
they said like right now after looking all these uncertain conditions and everything, we are not going to do any research or anything. So I find myself in a big trouble. I don't know what exactly I have to do.
No. First of all, I think they are going to make accommodations for people in your situation. I don't think this is going to play up badly. The only reason I would want you to also work is because it helps giving you another fallback position. If they don't fix this, you have lost nothing. Why don't you? Are you sure you've not been able to find 20 hours of unpaid leave, unpaid work? I mean, that's
Yeah, I can do that with there are a lot of consultancies are over
so
here.
do it. What is holding you?
But the only question which I have is like I'm already done with the I-9 form. So does it affect on my profile?
No. Oh, I see what you. I-9 तो सब घर की खेती है. You can make nine I-9. Nobody cares.
Yeah, like that is
Just
the
put
only
in.
concern I have.
No. I-9 means nothing. Don't worry about it. You'll fill another I-9.
Okay, thank you. Another question which I have is like from past 3 months, I don't have any insurance. So can you suggest me something like what should I do?
Well, okay. So right now everybody is overwhelmed by the idea of Corona,
Yeah.
the COVID-19. If you ever have a COVID-19 issue, USCIS has clearly said testing as well as treatment of COVID will be provided to you and it will not be held against you.
Okay, no worries. Because like
Okay?
last
So
week
try
only.
try not to break your leg. If you don't break your leg, COVID is okay.
Yeah.
You're covered. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
So no more horse riding for you.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for your help.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Varsha.
No worries at all. You're most welcome. Anybody else, guys? I see Ashwarya, Mukund, Sumit. If you guys have any question, please feel free to
अरे आप मेरे साथ बात कर सकती हैं. It's not necessary for us to have questions all the time.
मैं तो आपके
Varsha,
साथ बात भी कर सकती हूँ, राजीव जी.
मुझे Varsha was telling me before we joined, she says, they're going to be live students. And I said, आप मुझे बता रही कि डरा रही? Live is better because I get to see people. It's so much better. Yes, absolutely. So guys, don't worry about it. If you think about anything that you want us to talk to you about, go ahead and reach out to Varsha ji. We can always set up another meet with you guys. I told my team also, and I told whoever in the community I could reach out, that I will make myself available as long as you need for me to. So as many times as you need to, not because I'm doing you any favors, because I happen to be on the spot. Why not? मैं कर सकता हूँ तो कर दूँगा.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And I guess I do have some questions from people who could not join the call, but they've shared the questions. So we can totally share that.
Absolutely. Please go ahead.
Great. So this one question is very interesting. It says, I have a special case. I came here for my master's program in spring of 2020. I got a job on March 5th. I got my SSN in my hand, and on March 10th. The very next day, our university got shut down. So now I don't have any official working hours. Can I still file for unemployment benefits? Also, what are my alternatives, if you can suggest anything?
There are two different sets of issues here. One deals with unemployment insurance. You need to reach out to your state government. I don't see how you can, but you never know. Okay. Laws are full of surprises, good and bad. Okay. So that part I really cannot address. The second part is about maintaining your status.
Right.
Okay. So he said he came in on a student visa. Is that what he said?
Yeah, I came here for my master's program. So I'm assuming it is student visa.
Okay. And he didn't join school, or he joined school and then got a job?
He did join the school and he got the job on March 5th. So he came.
Okay, one second. So how long did he go to school?
It does not mention, but it says 2020. I'm assuming just maybe a few weeks or a month.
See, there is a problem here, because if you try to change your status or even your position perhaps within 90 days of entering USA, that is presumptively considered to be preconceived intent to violate your visa. So your situation is more complicated than we can assess in a public call. What I would recommend is reach out to a local lawyer where you are. Ask them what your situation is and how you can perhaps better it. But because Trump declared a national COVID emergency type of situation on March 1st,
right,
anything that happened March 1st would probably be forgotten and forgiven. So you got a job on March 5th. I'm not sure that would be forgotten and forgiven, but at least your status may not be under challenge. So it's hard for me to predict because your situation is rather tailor-made. Okay. But my recommendation would be, on the unemployment side, look at the state government agency. I don't think you qualify. Do you qualify for the extended benefits? I do not know the answer to that question yet. As soon as I know, I'll make it public. And as far as your status is concerned, that's a little bit more complicated. When you say university got shut down, I'm assuming it got shut down because of COVID. Because if it got shut down because of COVID, you're good.
Yeah, then that's not a problem. But I have a
Right.
feeling that he meant maybe the university is not
Yeah.
existing anymore.
Right. It was, the university was like Trump's news, fake news, right? so who knows? I'm not quite clear on that. But if the university got shut down because of shenanigans, then you're out of luck. Then watch the ICE website where they give information to students when they shut down a university. That will tell you what you need to do next. And you're welcome to come back here and talk to us.
Okay, perfect. Another question is, I'm an F1 student and my course gets over in May. Should I apply for an OPT or change of status with Form I-539?
OPT without question. Absolutely.
Okay, great. Another question is, I'm on F1 visa. I've been here for 4 years. I have an SSN, but I never paid taxes in US. Am I still eligible for the federal aid package?
I'm not going to answer that question about the federal aid package because I don't know the answer.
Okay.
I don't want to make things up. Other people have said, yes, you qualify. I'm not sure.
So do we wait a little more for things?
Yeah, just a little bit more. Just a little bit. I think this is the information will start. I want to see a well-reasoned, logical piece that tells me why and why or why not. And then I'll compare it with the statute and see if the author is telling or accurately describing the situation. Only then I just don't have the patience to deal with the tax issues, sit down and try to work it all out. So I'm waiting for smarter people than me to work it out for me. Just being a little lazy. I deserve that occasionally.
Absolutely. So I guess we'll just have to wait a little while, but I'm pretty sure we'll have that information coming out from you in
Yes,
a few
ma'am.
days. Great.
You will.
Another question is, can students who worked on campus on F1 visa, can they apply for unemployment benefits? I'm assuming they're out of jobs now, but they're working on campus.
Again, there are two components of F1. One component is the state insurance. I don't know if your university pays state insurance. I doubt it. But if they do, then you're entitled to it. As far as the extended benefits under the CARES Act, the relief package, I don't know the answer yet.
Okay, no worries. The next question is, I am on initial OPT under 90 days period. Can I get an extension on this barrier of getting a job in 90 days because of everything right now?
We've talked when they say 90 days, it is the first year of OPT.
I'm assuming, yes.
Yeah, because the other two give you 60 days. So it's got to be the first year of OPT.
Okay.
So I think it's 60 days. So when you are in the first year of OPT, you can do unpaid employment of 20 hours each week, and that's good enough. And if you do still run out of time, I think they're going to fix that for you.
Okay. The last question from this section is, some of us have had part-time job and that helped us pay our rents, but now we are struggling with that and our PG, our landlords are not cooperating with us. What is the best way to deal with this situation? Like, are there laws in place that they can, maybe have a conversation with the landlord and come to a solution mutually?
Right. Look to your state law. Many states have made it illegal for the landlords to turn out their tenants.
Right.
So just take a look at the state law, see how that works for you. Okay.
Well, those were all the questions that I had from the students. I do have certain H-1B related questions, Rajivji, which I think I'll address, I'll share with you after this session with the students that we have here is over. So you guys, is there anything else that we can help you with?
Varshaji, there's a chat, there's a unread note there.
I see all of them are just thanking you, Rajivji. That's what I need.
My pleasure, guys. No need to thank me. My pleasure.
Great. In that case, guys, I just have one message to give you, that if you have any more questions, there are a lot of resources available. Please rely on the credible sources of information. You can always come back to us if you have more questions. You can also reach out to Rajivji at help@immigration.com. And yeah, let's stay in touch. Let's stay connected, and let's just try and help each other as much as we can.
And don't go out, okay? No need to party.
And not go out, please, you guys. Great. Thank you, guys. So we'll see you on the app in that case. And you guys have a lovely weekend. Enjoy yourself. Bye.
हाँ जी, आपके H1 पे क्या चल रहा?
Hanji. Let me just quickly have everybody else. Abhinav, Yasho, Ashwarya, Sona, Akash, you guys are free to leave the session.
Oh, but they can stay if they want. That's up to
If you
them.
want to know about H1B, you are free to stay as well. Okay, great. So there are a few questions that are coming in related to, I think, the whole H1B lottery registration that
Sure.
results were announced. Some people weren't happy with it. Some had some different, like set path for them for future. So there are a few questions that I have. I'll just speak them out and you can answer them for us.
Sounds good.
Great. One of the question is it a good idea to claim unemployment when you are an EAD? Because I got my EAD, I was looking for jobs, but now there are no more jobs available. Please.
Unemployment insurance will be available only if you have worked. The unemployment that is a part of the CARES Act package, I don't know yet whether that's going to hurt you or help you. So I would have to wait on that maybe a few more days until some kind of analysis of that statute comes out.
Okay. This other member has a lot of questions. They're all pertain to change of his status from H1 to B2. The first question, yeah.
Okay, wait. I have done a fairly lengthy discussion of this.
Okay.
On in our community conference call on Thursday.
So I can take the recording from there?
Please,
Okay,
just
sure.
take the recording.
Yeah.
It's on our forums.immigration.com.
Okay.
On the very top, when you log in, you will see Rajiv's corner and you'll see community conference call.
Okay.
Just pick out the one from this Thursday, just a couple of days ago.
Great.
And share that, because we discussed every possible aspect of status in that call. What to do, how to file, what forms to file, what to say in the letter, what to watch out for.
Because
everything
I see he has some 6 questions just related to the change of status. I'm
So
assuming
uske baad mein, if we still have spillover questions, I'll be happy to. He can post them there too.
Okay.
We have actually opened a forum for all COVID related issues. So there's a forum that I'm watching personally. So if somebody puts a message there, it pops up to me.
Okay, I'll let them know in that case. The next question is, I'm a full-time employee working with a renowned company. I am an L1B and it's expiring on June 15th. My I-94 is valid till June 4th. I also have an approved H1B petition valid until 3rd Jan 21. I came to India. Yeah.
He came to India. He's in India, or she's in India?
I think so. I think that's what the question is. I came to India on vacation. I got stuck here due to lockdown.
There's nothing you can do. Sit tight. Right now, the visas are not open except for emergency or medical and allied professionals.
Okay. The person, I mean, however, he or she is saying that I have the following options: get H1 visa stamp from Indian embassy.
Yes, absolutely. Do that. Because you only have till June. I don't even know if the travel is going to open till June, guys.
I have my doubts too. At least international travel.
Yeah, I have my basmati rice sack ready here.
So. I think we Indians are always stocked up on food. Like
that. Most Indian households have enough dal, chawal, beans, and curry patta. Most South Indian side curry patta, not on the North Indian side. North Indian side is dhania. So we have enough for probably the next 3 years.
I know, that's true. Great. So I think we'll just suggest them to go ahead and get their H1 visa stamping done from the Indian embassy to enter the US. Yeah. And this person is also saying that another option that he or she has is enter US before June 4 and go for either change of status or L1 extension. I have assumed we can't answer that right now.
Doubt very much. But let's say you are able to answer. I think it's so much easier if you should discuss the strength of your H1B with your lawyers. Because if your H1B is strong, it's an in-house employment, clear-cut project, company is strong, you could just get an H1B visa stamp and come back. That's a so much cleaner option because you can come and go as you please after that.
Got it.
But if the H1B has any gray areas that the lawyers are concerned about, come in and then at the right time apply for a change of status.
Yeah, I think that's what the person is asking. Can I go for H1 change of status without stamp or L1B extension while I'm here in India?
And the answer to that is that depends upon the strength of your H1B. L1B is kind of a sucky visa. I don't really like it much. We do them all the time. First, it's limited to 5 years. 2, it doesn't have any way of extending like H1 does. And 3, it is not like L1A where you get a green card like that, or at least like that in this case means 5 years. But so it's still better. EB1C green card. L1B are not the best visas. But if you convert to H1B, you get some extra time. And if you file a green card, you can keep extending the H1B.
Okay. I guess that will help them. This will help them understand that. We do have a member here who wants to ask a question related
Of
to
course.
the immigration, COVID-related immigration issue. Go ahead. I can't read your name. Your screen says Galaxy S10 Plus. So please go ahead and ask your question, sir.
Galaxy A10 Plus. Go ahead.
You can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Hi, sir. Sir, this is Darshana here.
Ji.
Right now, I am on H4 visa,
Mm-hmm.
but I am about to separate with my husband.
Okay.
So, if he file divorce here, so can I stay here, and how long I stay here?
Okay. So, first of all, until the divorce is actually granted, you are still on H4,
Okay.
right? So, because it's just common sense, right? Until you are divorced, you are married.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one. Second thing is you want to listen to the video recording we have on applying for a B2 visa to maintain status. Okay.
Okay.
If you reach out to Varsha ji, or if you just go to forums.immigration.com and you go to the community conference call, it's right on the very top. You'll see the recording of last Thursday's call. I think, what was the last Thursday? Was it 3rd? 3rd, I think. Yeah, April 3rd. So you'll see that, and in about 10 minutes of listening, I hope that you will know exactly what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So
Yeah.
you'll be able to buy some time.
And actually, I have one question. Am I eligible for U visa? Like, we have a case of domestic battery and all.
Yes, you should. Was there a police complaint filed? Did you file a police complaint?
Yeah, police came and yeah.
You might have a very good option under U visa. My knowledge of U visas is limited only to a friend of mine who is on U visa. So I know somebody who has a U visa, but I don't know much about them. I know that there has to be a criminal matter. You have to be a victim, and then the police, local police, have to give you a letter, and based upon that, you get the U visa, and eventually you can get a green card. So it could be a great option for you, Darshanaji. So you should definitely speak with a lawyer who knows about U visas. My practice is very focused on employment-based immigration, H visas, L visas, EB5s, and also family-based immigration. So we don't really do much of U visas.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Great. Sonal, you said you have something to ask, so go ahead. You can unmute yourself.
Like, really, I thought you'll take it. But
Yeah, but I want to say it.
Yeah, so there is one news yesterday. It says due to glitch in new registration system, there is a mistake, and they denied hundreds of H1B applications,
Right.
especially new registration.
Right.
So it appears that it's gonna be like a very chaos and very difficult situation for many professionals. They will be denied because of USCIS mistake. So I just want to know your take on this.
I think it's a very difficult situation because, and I don't really know all the details, and I don't think anybody does. You see, the number of H1Bs we have is limited by law. Even USCIS cannot go beyond the law. At the same time, the lottery they conduct has to be fair, right? So they have done one of the two things, and I can make a guess what they did. One of the two things they did was they denied the H1Bs, and the visas are already allotted. So the registration is already done. The question is, what will they do now? Or they could have done this, that they ran people through the lottery, That's unlikely, but it can happen. So one is that they already, or let's put it this way, they caught or they saw the problems, whatever the perceived problem, before they ran the lottery, or they did it after the lottery. If they denied people before the lottery, that means these people were never considered in the lottery, right? You see my point? So if they were never considered in the lottery, I think they'll have to run the lottery again, which is very messy. And the second is, if they thought the people were unqualified after they ran the lottery, I think that's easier. Simply put them back in the pot, give them their visas, right? So I'm not sure exactly what happened. I really haven't paid much attention to it, simply because it's too immature a problem quite yet. But my take is it could have gone one of the two ways, and one is very messy, the other one is clean.
So just in case, if there could be a possibility of another lottery?
That's just a pure guess. You never know.
Yeah, because that's gonna be.
You never know. You never know
that question.
You never know, because if they have messed it up so badly that these people were not even considered, they were denied out of hand, I don't think that's going to stand in court. Lottery will have to be conducted again, because they can't give them extra visas. Where they want to come from? They can only give the visas Congress has allowed them. And that's just my take, knowing the law as I do and the process as I do. I don't know exactly what happened.
All right, thank
you. Do you have Sonalji? Do you have any information on that? Did they make public? I know I saw the news, but did they make it public exactly what they did wrong?
Not exactly. I'm still monitoring their website as well. If they say something on the website, then there could be a possibility that maybe they run another lottery or something like that.
Yeah, it's possible. Drop me an email, okay? help@immigration.com.
Yes, I know it very well.
Right. Let me know if there's something going on, and I'll look into it for you. I can call a couple of people too.
Sure. Okay.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Great. Yasho, you said you have one question you want to ask, so go ahead.
Yes, right. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
So Rajiv ji, just a general question. I've been hearing on the news for last 2-3 years, and this was something more of a priority for the administration before the COVID-19. I understand things have changed now, but the administration had talked about making the green card process merit-based, like countries like Canada and Australia, versus having it a quota-based. Do you think there will be any movement in this aspect at all, or this is just hyperbole and they're not really going to do anything about it?
Anything is possible. Coronavirus is possible. Anything is possible, but you have put your finger on my dukhti rag. Last time, a few years ago, Senate passed a comprehensive bill containing merit-based immigration. I spent 40 hours, 50 hours reading through the 1,100 bloody pages. Okay. It was an 1,100-page bill, 1,100 some pages, comprehensive immigration reform. But then it failed in the House. So you have to understand the politics of the United States of America. Immigration law, first of all, is highly, highly artificial. There is no natural justice or fairness in immigration law, not at the first blush. There may be some based upon a systemic understanding. Once you understand how things are put together, you can say, oh, I understand why you have 65,000 H-1Bs, okay, or why you've given 7,000 green cards to each country. But from the perspective of the stakeholder, a lawyer or our clients, it's a very unfair system. So there's no justice in it. This is not like, you know, when you see criminal law or you see contract law, if somebody owes you money, they have to give it to you. That's just natural justice. If you punch somebody, you should be punished for it. That's just natural justice. But you have to wait 15 years. Well, that's just the law. So remember that the first problem with immigration law is that there is no natural justice. Second problem is that there is a schizophrenic split in the mindset. Normally, Republicans are pro-business, but they don't like non-white people. And going by this year's statistics and the years past, this year 60-some%. I know Lubna ji from the Times of India had written a very good coverage on that. Lubna Kabli, she does a very good job. So she had written an article on this whole area, and she talked about what percentage of Indians were selected. But even if you go historically, H-1Bs, over 40% for each year have been Indians, and then the rest of the countries of the world together. So first is Indian, then second usually is China, about 10 to 13%. So 40 to 13%. So of course we are the highest number of people in this country. So Republicans like business, but they don't like us. Democrats like us, but they like local labor better. So if they perceive that we are taking away their jobs or depressing the salaries, they're not going to stand with us. Republicans are not going to stand with us because I happen to be the wrong color. According to them, I think we are the wrong color, but that's all right. I have to interject for 1 second here. Many years ago, I was on a radio show, National Public Radio, with a very bigoted congressman. And he said to me, he said, Counsel, why should we tolerate the presence of immigrants in this country? Why should we not kick them all out? And I said, Congressman, when you're right, you're right. Let me help you pack your bags. The only person who belongs here is the Native American whom you've confined to reservation. You, sir, need to leave. You are an interloper. So this is a country. Sorry?
I'm sorry. I just barged in. I'm saying, how did he take that response? I'm just curious.
Oh, he didn't talk much after that.
I'm sure.
I can tell you that. Because I have very little patience for fools. I was always too old to suffer fools. So I think people have to realize that there is a perception in the American mind, not all of the Americans, but especially in the technology industry, that we are being given low-paid jobs. That could be true in some cases. There are some companies doubtlessly that are exploiting the system. But there are many, many, many more companies. You pick up the roster of any company we work with, they're all trying their very best to obey the law. And some of these laws are ridiculous. For example, some of the salaries the Department of Labor asks us to give in areas like North Carolina, no local labor is making those salaries. But because the employers need the workforce so badly, they'll pay those salaries. So it becomes difficult because in the same workforce, you could have a local worker making less salary than an H-1B worker. And that's just not right. So, but we are constrained by law, so they have to figure out ways to make it work. It's very difficult. So, Yasho, one thing you have to realize is that's just the politics of this country. Okay. But eventually, educated people will come to the White House instead of uneducated, illiterate builders. They'll come to the White House and we will have the rule of sanity again. Best results come from differences of opinion. Because remember, Republicans don't represent the whole country, neither do Democrats. So therefore, between the two of them, we have done best when we had one party in Congress and the other party in the White House, because we had to strike compromises, and we have to strike compromise. You can't just say my way or the highway. Okay, there's some good on both sides, and there's plenty of bad on both sides too. So a lot depends on the next election. I predict if Democrats take the White House, you will see comprehensive immigration reform.
Thank you so much. That is
maybe more information than you needed, but that's all.
I love this type of information. I'm an avid follower of news and I like law, even though I'm in a STEM degree. So
You guys are on the ball. I know that.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
That was great.
Good luck, sir. Good luck, sir. Bye-bye.
Great. I think, Rajiv ji, this is it. We've answered most of, or you have answered all the questions and shared some insights as well. We'll plan our next session with you, and this time we'll handle another set of queries from other members and share the answers with them. But thank you so much for your time once again on a Saturday morning on such a short notice. We really appreciate your time, Rajiv ji.
It's my pleasure. It's absolutely an honor and a privilege. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.